It's Kevin McCullough on AM 970, The Answer.
You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio, breaking news as it happens, what it means and why it matters. And today, commemorating 9/11.
Kevin McCullough, and here we go.
Obliterating confusion.
Amplifying truth.
And pursuing clarity.
Kevin McCullough, now.
Coming up on today's broadcast, as we remember back to that day 16 years ago, we'll have a montage of moments from that day to end with. Do not miss that. We'll take a look at the markets and see what they're doing. We'll talk to a first responder and what they experienced in helping people deal with the aftermath. A CIA agent who has some thoughts, and Bernard Kerik to start.
Kevin McCullough.
Something interesting is happening with this.
Kevin McCullough, let me start with you.
I found this thing at townhall.com by Kevin McCullough.
The big dog
has come out of nowhere.
Kevin McCullough,
I just want to help people think.
nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
He is playing the role as well as anybody could.
Kevin McCullough is a nationally syndicated radio host and author of No He Can't.
The odds are he's right.
It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
On that day, not only did the world change, but we all changed. Our eyes were opened to the depths of the evil we face.
President Trump today commemorating the events of 16 years ago. It seems surreal to say that number, too, because for those of us that lived through the day, it seems like it was just not that long ago. And yet, here we are, many years' worth of children born after the events, and that world forever changed because of the planes that flew into the towers and the intended evil, and then the amazing heroics of those that responded. Someone that saw it all with a first-hand account and from a front-row seat that he probably had no desire to ever see, but we are grateful that he was there, that he was on duty, and that he helped our mayor and that he helped our city recover and get through these excruciating hours. Was 9/11 Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, who rejoins us at the Kevin McCullough microphone. And, Bernie, it's good to have you back. I appreciate you taking time out on this anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about how that day started for you and the degree of change that it brought to your life in the minutes that as it unfolded.
When the first plane hit Tower 1, I was actually in my office, and my chief of staff came in and said that the plane just hit Tower 1, and I thought it was a small plane. I figured I'd look out the window of my conference room and see a Cessna sticking out one of the windows of the tower. Unfortunately, that's not what it was, and it was a much bigger, devastation than I anticipated. I went in, I called the mayor, I told him I would meet him at Tower 7, which is right across the street from Tower 1. It's where our emergency command center was. I said I'd meet him there. I was on the way down, and he agreed. And I was down at the base of Tower 7 in about 7 or 8 minutes. We couldn't actually get on the Vesey Street because people were jumping from the top of one. They were landing on Vesey. They were landing in the courtyard. The police had set up a barricade there, stopped our vehicles, and said, Commissioner, you can't turn into the block. It's too dangerous. So I got out of the vehicle. We contacted the mayor. I'm waiting for the mayor. And just probably 2 or 3 minutes before he pulled up, the second aircraft slammed through the north side of the tower above me and the people I were with. And it was at that point that I actually realized we were under attack.
Did you think when you looked out the conference room window and saw the size of the hole in Tower 1, did you think at that, or Tower, which tower was hit first, Tower 2 or Tower 1?
Tower 1.
Yeah, when you saw that hole and the amount of smoke that was coming out of there, and again, you had anticipated a Cessna, did you have an inkling at that moment that it might be terror?
Well, Kevin, I think the first thing I said, I actually said to my guys, are you sure? They said this is a plane. The damage was overwhelming, and I could see almost through both sides. And I could see, because of the corner position, I could see two sides of the building. So I'm thinking, that's too much damage. I wasn't even thinking of an aircraft, a jetliner.
Huh.
So for me, I'm thinking, was it something else? Was there a device placed in there? What else could it be? And they said, no, the news reports is that it was an airplane.
Yeah.
And,
but then you were standing at the base when the second plane hit. What did that sound like? Was it because obviously it came in low?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't hear the plane coming. In fact, I didn't know it was a plane.
Huh.
I heard this, when I've tried to explain this to people, the first thing I heard was glass, this enormous explosion of glass. And then there was the loud explosion type, the fuel and all the other stuff. And I yelled to my guys, I said, they are blowing up the towers. And we ducked behind Tower 7 to get out of the way. And I could hear the aviation pilots, my guys that were up in helicopters, yelling to Central that a second airliner had just hit Tower 2. That's how I knew that was a plane. I didn't see the plane.
Wow.
Because that plane came in from the southern end of Manhattan.
Fast forward to when the towers fell. Where had you gotten to, and how quickly had you gotten there?
The mayor got to me within 3 or 4 minutes after Tower 2 was hit, and we actually walked down to the command center on West Street.
Okay.
We spoke to the commissioner, the deputy commissioner of the fire department, chief of operations. We talked about a strategy on the command center and temporary command centers. And then I took the mayor back up to Barclay Street where I initially met him so he could call the White House. We wanted air support. We wanted to close down the airspace and things like that.
Sure.
We went into an office at 75 Barclay Street. The mayor was on the phone. And somebody came to the phone. He was actually waiting for the vice president. They came to the phone and they said, listen, we got to go. They're evacuating the White House, and we think the Pentagon just got hit. And as he hung up the phone, the building we were in, that corner office at 75 Barclay, began to shake like a freight train was coming through the side of it. And the door slammed open, and it was Joe Esposito, my chief of department in the NYPD. He yelled to us to get down. He said, the building's coming down. And I thought, oh, my God, like, what does that mean? What's he talking about? This building?
Right. You can't even fathom it at the time. Right.
Exactly. And then we pretty much, we were stuck in that office, suffocating just about, because you had all this backlash of smoke and debris and gas and all this other stuff. We couldn't get out. We were locked in. We couldn't go out the doors we came in because the damage was in the front of that building.
Right.
And eventually we got out through a maze of offices and came out at 100 Church Street, which was a block away, through the basement of those buildings.
We're speaking with Bernard Kerik, who, of course, was the NYPD commissioner on 9/11. Bernie, fast forward to where we are now. Did we learn lessons that we needed to learn, particularly in the city and for our nation? Are we well prepared to stop an attack like this before it happens again?
Well, I think the most important thing we learned about an enemy that we never realized was this powerful, this strong, this committed to doing what they do. And we've learned consistently throughout this process over the last 16 years on how to address this enemy. This isn't a conventional army. This isn't a state. This is a group of sick and demented people that want the demise of this country and others that live in the West, that live in freedom. And we had to learn how to deal with that, and we've done so. We continue to get better. Unfortunately, we're never going to be perfect. Our intelligence capabilities are far better than they were on September 10th of 2001, 10 times, 100 times better. But that.
We've lost a temporary connection with NYPD Commissioner Bernard Kerik. And
you there, Kevin?
Yeah, we got you back now. So just a final thought on that. Bernie, we've gone through so much since those 16 years. And it seems like a part of us has forgotten about these events, or maybe is trying to expunge it from history. I feel like we're going to be setting ourselves up for real danger if we ever allow ourselves to get to that point. And so to the degree that we can continue to commemorate this and talk about it and remind people of the horror that this evil really did try to seek out, I think it's going to be good for us as a country.
I think you cannot forget, and I think you constantly have to shove this down people's throats to make sure that they don't forget, because when they do, it's going to happen again. So that's
said.
my own personal insight.
Well said. Commissioner, thank you for being with us on this very important day. We appreciate it.
Kevin, thank you.
Kevin McCullough, coming up, a former CIA agent talks about how fighting that war covertly is going.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer.
It's a rough ride going back to New Jersey at the Holland Tunnel with a 30 to 40-minute delay. Citybound side, we're looking at about a 5 to 10-minute backup. Outbound Lincoln Tunnel, 30 minutes. Citybound 5 to 10, but quickly growing. George Washington Bridge, pretty good ride in both directions. In New Jersey, 80 westbound at exit 52 in Fairfield. That's an accident being cleared. We're looking at a better ride through the area on 46. And the Parkway still slows southbound from 142 down towards 135. Northbound slows Union Tolls on up towards exit 145. Turnpike Western Spur, that's very slow on the southbound side, 18W to 15W. Eastern Spur, a little bit of a better ride. Northbound West Side Highway, heaviest volume will be north of 125th Street up to the George Washington Bridge. Northbound FDR Drive, a slow ride from the 50s right up to the RFK Triborough Bridge. Westbound Cross Bronx, that's slow from the Bruckner right on through to the GW Bridge. And eastbound, we're slow from the George Washington Bridge out towards the area of Webster Avenue, then slow again coming into the Bronx River Parkway. And now you know how not to go. I am Mike Barker on AM 970, The Answer.
Hey, Kevin McCullough here. You've been hearing a lot about Giardino d'Oro, located just around the corner from our studios at 5 Gold Street here in Lower Manhattan. I love this place. It's got authentic Italian food, wonderful service, and a classic, intimate setting. Come join us for dinner and a live broadcast of Kevin McCullough starting at 5 o'clock on AM 970 The Answer, Thursday, September the 21st. We've got special guests lined up, and we'll see you at Giardino d'Oro, 5 Gold Street on Thursday, September the 21st.
2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Some feelings never go away. We can only hope that eventually the pain will heal. What happened to this country 16 years ago is a lingering reminder that we must always be vigilant. We may never understand the kind of evil that killed thousands of innocent people, but we will never stop attempting to overcome it. AM 970, The Answer.
Hi, this is Al Gattullo from the Joe Piscopo Morning Show. We're giving away 2 tickets to the New York Jets versus Miami Dolphins home opener game on Sunday, September 24th at MetLife Stadium. Very easy to enter. You go to our AM 970 The Answer smartphone app, which you can download for free in the Google Play Store or the iPhone App Store. For a complete list of contest rules, just go to am970theanswer.com. The tickets are valued at $540, and the winner will be announced on the Joe Piscopo Morning Show on Wednesday, September 20th. Good luck.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm lugging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code THEANSWER.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
Listen to Joe Piscopo in the morning, weekdays at 6. Mike Gallagher at 10 on AM 970. The Answer. Breaking news as it happens. You're listening to Kevin McCullough Radio.
We are reminded of the timeless truth that when America is united, no force on earth can break us apart. No force.
The president from earlier today talking to the gathered masses as they were remembering, as we all did, where we were 16 years ago today. And the question I'm trying to ask across all of Kevin McCullough Radio today is, what difference does it make? And are we losing the relevance that day has as it pertains to where we are at now, what we are looking at now in terms of the world geopolitical system and some of the lessons we need to learn from that? Mike Baker is a former CIA agent, and he's a national security specialist, and he travels and has traveled in very dangerous places. And he rejoins us here at the Kevin McCullough microphone. Mike, good to have you, even on this solemn day some 16 years later.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it.
You were not still active CIA duty at the time when 9/11 took place, but you had not been out of the game for long, and I'm just curious your thoughts as to where we stand 16 years later.
Yeah, it's. It seems like just yesterday for a lot of folks. Obviously, those of us of a certain age or people who were involved in certain activities. I was in London on that day. And had just recently left my old outfit and started a business in the intelligence and security space. Where are we now compared to then? Well, part of it is just the natural progression of time, and we've lost, part of the pain. We've lost part of the immediacy of it. And you think about it, I've got 3 little boys who... it's ancient history to them, right? And it's up to us to try to explain why it was important and why it continues to be important. I understand, time marches on, but I think that, there's a lot of people. I have a daughter who was 7 on that day, and this is all she's known, meaning sort of the war on terror and this fact of life. Right. And she grew up during this period of time. So it means something different to different people based on their ages and their experience and,
sure.
sort of with their environment. But in operational sense, in practical terms, if you just were to say, look, are we better off now in terms of counterterrorism? Are we safer now? The answer is unequivocally yes. We are much better at many aspects of counterterrorism. And, primarily that is, the movement of information through the system. And the system is everything from local, state, to federal, to our liaison partners overseas. The ability to take intelligence and move it into the operational arena and act on it. The sharing of intelligence, that is vastly improved from where it was just before 9/11. People will say, well, but wait a minute, we had this issue over here, or we had this problem over here. Well, yeah, no kidding. It's a human endeavor. It's never going to be perfect. But I'm here to tell you it is much, much improved over where it was.
We're speaking with former CIA agent Mike Baker, who you see regularly on the Fox News channel. And Mike, we were talking earlier off air, and your activities in the field, obviously there's a reason that you have to be covert. There's a reason that you got to be undercover, and there's a reason that we've got to do a lot of these things on the secret. One of the things I remember people saying at the time was that we were basically void of almost any intelligence operations in the radical Islamic neighborhoods of the world. And I'm just curious, from where you sit and as you assess what we're doing now, did we learn that lesson well enough, and are we adequately penetrating cells and neighborhoods and mosques and other things to stay ahead of future threats?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's very complex in its answer, but in somewhat simple terms, if you look up to 9/11, you say, okay, what was going on just prior to 9/11? Part of it was that we had been going through a change in the way that we viewed the intelligence business, and by that I mean we were moving away from human. Part of the community was kind of enraptured with the idea of technical collection and using technology and intercepts to supplant human resources and sort of typical, sort of the old school espionage of recruiting assets. And so what did that mean? Well, it meant we were putting more money into the technical side of things and less attention, less effort to recruit case officers, as an example, people within the CIA who actually go out there and spot and target and recruit human sources. So our cadre of those folks had been shrinking because, it's cyclical, right? It moves over a period of time. But as an end result of that, yes, we didn't have the assets inside the radical Islamic communities around the world, as you pointed out, that we would like to have had.
And wasn't that kind of the foundation for then why we were so nervous that more attacks could have been imminent and on their way to us? Because we simply we just didn't know.
The lack of vision there, the lack of insight. And you can do a great deal through communications intercepts and technical collection and all those things. But if you don't have human sources, at the end of the day, you're going to be hosed. And so we were lacking human sources. And to be fair, it's a very heavy lift. It's like reporting and getting sources in the Iranian nuclear program.
Which is why I'm hoping that we are better in that arena now than we were then. Mike Baker, thank you for your thoughts and your insights and your analysis and your service to your country. We are grateful for it. It's Kevin McCullough. This is Kevin McCullough Radio. Our special 9/11 edition continues. Stay with us.
News, opinion, passion. This is AM 970. The Answer.
We have sunshine and 76 degrees on this Monday afternoon. What's going on? We have the answer. The South Brunswick, New Jersey Best Western Hotel has been seriously damaged after a fire last night. The blaze at the hotel, located on Route 1 in South Brunswick, began around 9 o'clock last evening. Massive flames and smoke could be seen from the hotel's second floor. The South Brunswick Police Department says 2 firefighters were taken to a hospital for heat exhaustion. The cause is under investigation. Flags are flying at half-staff across the state of New Jersey to mark 16 years since the 9/11 attacks. Governor Chris Christie directed flags to be lowered to remember all those lost in the September 11th attacks, but also the nearly 700 families across the Garden State who tragically lost loved ones that fateful day. Governor Cuomo is announcing unlimited paid leave for workers that were sickened by working at Ground Zero post 9/11. James Flippen has more.
Unlimited paid leave is already available for Ground Zero workers sickened, provided they're with the NYPD, FDNY, Department of Corrections, or Sanitation. The issue, officials say, is some who worked on the pile after 9/11 began working in the suburbs or upstate afterwards. Now those workers are eligible for paid leave as well, says State Senator Todd Kaminsky.
If you were injured on 9/11 and after 9/11 because you served the public working on the pile, the state is going to cover your sick days for you.
Employees currently working within the public sector qualify, provided they've filed notice of working at Ground Zero and have a qualifying health condition.
In sports, Yankees take on the Tampa Bay Rays, and this series, instead of being in Tampa Bay, will be at Citi Field in Queens because of Hurricane Irma. The Mets have the night off. Taking a look at the traffic, outbound side of the Holland Tunnel, it's a 40-minute wait. Outbound Lincoln Tunnel, 30 minutes. Inbound Lincoln Tunnel, about 15. Inbound Holland, 10 to 15. GW Bridge moves well. Partly cloudy tonight, overnight low 63. Sunshine tomorrow with a high of 83. And cloudy skies on Wednesday, chance of showers, a high of 79 degrees. And now you know what's going on. I am Mike Barker on AM 970, The Answer.
Here's attorney Michael Barish, whose law firm Barish McGarry represents more people in the 9/11 community than any other firm in the country. They're dedicated to fighting for those who've been devastated by 9/11.
There's a misconception that health care and compensation is only available to firefighters and police officers. The government created the Victim Compensation Fund and set aside $7 billion for responders as well as construction workers, downtown residents, and office workers, even students and teachers who were exposed to the toxic dust, which has been linked to respiratory illnesses and 68 cancers. My firm is honored to represent these people. We're dedicated to helping everyone get the compensation and health care they're entitled to. It's not too late, but you must register before the deadlines.
If you or someone you know was working, living, or going to school in Lower Manhattan between 9/11 and May 2002, urge them to learn more about their legal rights before time runs out. Visit WTCLawyers.com or for a free consultation, call 212-385-8000. 212-385-8000.
Another AM 970 Business Networking Breakfast is scheduled for Thursday, October the 19th. Public broadcaster Steve Adubato will lead the discussion on growing your business and breaking through the clutter of digital and traditional marketing. Hear from digital strategy and marketing expert Isaac Rudansky, founder of Adventure Media and author of 3 #1 best-selling courses on Google AdWords, remarketing, and landing page design. Also hear from Phil Van Horn, president and CEO of Blue Rock Energy, Jeannie Zaino, professor of political science at Iona College and frequent Fox contributor, and also Gary Goldberg, founder and CEO of Gary Goldberg Financial Services, about how to establish a brand and market through social media, online advertising, sports, and radio. Joe Piscopo, my morning man, and the team will be broadcasting live. A gourmet breakfast from DR Catering will be served. It's happening Thursday, October the 19th at Passaic County Community College in Wanacue. Entry is free, but you must register online at am970theanswer.com. The Salem Business Breakfast is sponsored by Blue Rock Energy.
Proving that he may be ready for prime time. Frank Morano. Sunday mornings at 4 on AM 970. The Answer. What you need to know when you need it. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
To every first responder and survivor of the attack you carry on the legacy of the friends you lost, you keep alive the memory of those who perish, and you make America proud. Very, very proud.
As the president today commemorating 9/11, specifically applauding the efforts of first responders, emergency responders. There were so many that filled so many holes. I remember a number of years ago, my buddy Stephen Baldwin was part of a 12-person theatrical drama that wasn't acted out in full costume. It was just a reading. But I think there were a dozen or maybe 15 actors. Katie Holmes was in it, a couple of others that were kind of lined up across the stage, and they told the stories of the people that died that day or chose to respond to those that died that day, and their kind of surviving narratives. And it was really compelling, and it made me appreciate all the more the work that the first responders went through 16 years ago. And I've recently had a chance to get to know one, not as much as I would like to get to know him in the future, but Paul Schooling is someone that was introduced to me through a mutual friend, and he is a first responder and emergency responder and now trained and certified under certain circumstances. He was even asked to help respond to Harvey and Hurricane Irma, though an injury is not allowing him to do that at this time. But, Paul, thank you for coming on the air with me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Kevin. Glad to be here.
When you and I were speaking earlier today, you said that immediately following the attack, you saw and responded really up close in a variety of ways. Just give me the checklist of the different areas that you served in there.
Yeah, we did respond immediately, and it's interesting that we had kind of an inside track with the mayor and his actual personal bodyguard protector with 9/11, and so we just got in and began to work with our certification and training immediately, almost the same day as the attack. We were over in Brooklyn being trained by the Red Cross, OEM, and victim response ministries that was out of Texas. And so we were getting all the training and to be able to know and be certified the best that we could do immediately.
And then you actually served at different sites. You responded to the 9/11 site directly. You also worked at the pier when they were gathering things there, and then eventually the landfill in Staten Island, where it was treated as a crime scene because of all the debris that was there. What were those experiences like for you?
Yeah, all three were really very different. The working down at Ground Zero, it's really indescribable even today. I was in Vietnam, and this was more of a war zone than Vietnam. It was surreal at night with the illumination and the almost iridescent yellow illumination of Ground Zero at night. The Pier 94 with looking at the Family Assistance Center that was only open for a short time, but was open immediately after the attack. We met family after family that some of them I'm still in contact with, that had such stories, and they were looking for their family members. A few of them found their family members because they ended up getting out and kind of wandering around for a day or two before they were located. But so many of them that it was months and months and months and became years that they were trying to get some kind of closure on what happened to that loved one. And then we served at I served at the respite center doing counseling work down on Vesey Street with St. John's University, and really they would have 2-hour shifts coming in, and I would serve on 12-hour shifts total. But 2-hour shifts, they had people coming in off the pile that were needing to rest, needing to get clothes changed, needing to get fed, and just debriefed because they were having just traumatic information all the
time. Paul, the time has gone so quickly. I know that there's much more that we could discuss, but I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone whose lives you touched and families you encouraged during that time. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for being here.
Eric Metaxas says freedom to pray is a must.
I think that if more Christians would push these things instead of backing down and thinking they're being nice, you're not being nice to all the people that are depending on you to do the right thing. To do the right thing, you're going to benefit everybody in the country because everybody in the country, whether they know it or not, they want freedom. They want real freedom. And if you can't pray, that's a lack of freedom. It's ridiculous.
The Eric Metaxas Show, weeknights at 11 on AM 970. The Answer.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. Recently, just on vacation, we met up with my brother and sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law had never used the MyPillow, and she was saying, she just had a new baby, and she's needing to get good sleep. And so when Dad brought extra pillows over, he made sure he brought a MyPillow in that batch, and she used it. The next morning, saying to me, Kev, I can't believe I've never tried it. With all this time you've been talking about it, what a difference a single night's sleep made. Friends, it's just another example of person after person after person that the MyPillow has changed the sleeping patterns, sleeping lives, sleeping health of. And that's why I want you to try it. They are still offering 50% off everything on the MyPillow.com website when you use the promo code. So why don't you go there today, 800-506-2641, 1-800-506-2641. All of MyPillow products made in America, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Guaranteed you're going to get the best night's sleep of your life every single night. 800-506-2641, 800-506-2641. Promo code AM970, the answer, or 800-506-2641. Hey, Kevin McCullough here. You've been hearing a lot about Giardino d'Oro, located just around the corner from our studios at 5 Gold Street here in Lower Manhattan. I love this place. It's got authentic Italian food, wonderful service, and a classic, intimate setting. Come join us for dinner and a live broadcast of Kevin McCullough starting at 5 o'clock on AM 970 The Answer, Thursday, September the 21st. We've got special guests lined up, and we'll see you at Giardino d'Oro, 5 Gold Street on Thursday, September the 21st.
Today we're talking about mortgages. If you're looking to obtain a home loan, Emmanuel Katechis from United Mortgage is here to help answer some questions. Emmanuel, what's currently happening in the mortgage industry?
There are many great things. For instance, one of the best new products is HARP. Right now, someone can refinance even if you owe more than what your house is worth. Also, United Mortgage can get you into a property with little or no money down.
Can you still get a mortgage even if you have bad credit?
Absolutely. Right now, even if you have a low credit score, we may be able to help you with various programs, such as FHA or VA.
What separates United Mortgage from other mortgage companies?
What separates us is service, hands down. We are here 7 days a week, from early morning to late evening. We understand that this process can be very intimidating. That is why our team has been trained in customer service and products. We are here for you, even after the loan closes.
Call United Mortgage at 888-888-5721. 888-888-5721. United Mortgage is licensed by the New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Department of Banking. 888-888-5721.
Incredibly, it's been 16 years since the tragedy of 9/11. AM 970 and Labor Press have teamed up to present a special post-9/11 forum that focuses on the medical issues affecting thousands of first responders and the rebuilding of Lower Manhattan. We've assembled a fantastic lineup of union officials and labor leaders, including the new president of the Uniformed Firefighters Association Local 94, Gerard Fitzgerald, the president of the Uniformed Fire Officers Association Local 854, Jake LaMonda, and the president of the New York City Building and Trades Council, Gary Secretary LaBarbera, along with many other politicians, union officials, and labor leaders. The event is free to the public and will take place the morning of Tuesday, September 12th at the Council of School Administrators headquarters at 40 Rector Street. AM 970 will be doing a special radio broadcast with Joe Piscopo and the morning team, and a free breakfast will be served. For more information, go to the events page at am970theanswer.com or call 212-857-9632. That's 212-857-9632.
Syracuse football. Heard exclusively on AM 970, The Answer.
Look around, how lucky we are to be alive right now. Look around, how lucky we are to be alive right now. History is happening in Manhattan, and we just happen to be in the greatest city in the world,
If it's happening in New York or across the globe, learn why it matters first on Kevin McCullough Radio.
America cannot be intimidated, and those who try will soon join the long list of vanquished enemies who dared to test our mettle.
From the president on this commemorative 9/11 day on the calendar earlier today, and appropriate comments given the condition of the world and where we're at and what has happened, not only in our country for the last 16 years, but also where we may be headed in the near future. And some of that impact is going to hit our pocketbook and, of course, the economy. And that's one of the reasons why we talk about your money every Monday with David Fischer here at Kevin McCullough Radio. David, good to have you back. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Stocks are doing okay today. They're up a little bit, and just curious, is this are we finally past hurricane worry fever here, or what? What do you think's going on?
Well, the Dow's up a little over 1%, 1.25% almost. S&P hit all-time highs. You know, they're assessing in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma that the financial price tag is not going to be near as much. 86 to 108 billion for Harvey, Irma 64 to 92 billion, totaling 150 to 200 billion. They thought the costs were actually going to be much higher.
They thought that much alone was just going to be for Harvey initially.
Exactly. So there is a little bit of an economic loss of money exchanging hands because we can't function in these two regions. Somewhere in between 20 to 30 billion of economic loss. But our country's a strong country. We have financial backing. We're going to use debt structure to finance this, and we're going to get back on our feet. And I think part of the uptick in the markets today, Kevin, is because we're going to actually rebuild in that area. And so that exchange of money, all the building, the housing, everything, businesses getting back to work. So it's good news. It's also we're not going to have this missile being shot that didn't happen over the weekend from North Korea on the 69th anniversary.
And I want to get back to that in a second, but I want to just make one other comment about the markets. The insurance sector is probably not going to be great for the next few months. But the upside is, as you were talking about, all those payouts, that's going to flood these regions with not just cash and the ability to do business, but it's also going to put a lot of, people to work, a lot of construction, a lot of contractors, a lot of things, because everybody's going to need to rebuild. And building has always been kind of a boon for America. When we're building, we usually tend to have much better economic activity.
You're exactly right. And prior to the storms, the market that got hit the hardest was the financials and the insurance, and now they're rebounding. So really, there was just kind of a get back to square one in the aftermath of the hurricanes here for both those two sectors.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, you made a reference to North Korea. They didn't fire a missile. The anniversary came and went. But I have a feeling that if Kim Jong-un wanted to, he could still make some noise in our markets before the end of this year. What's your take on how he is impacting the economic activity?
Well, North Korea had a moment of clarity. I think they came to reality. They decided not to prod with the United States in our psychic on this significant September 11th day. As a result of that, the dollar did rebound a little bit, but it's still below a threshold of support. So this caused gold to go down. North Korea, I don't think they're done. I think they're just pausing. In fact, they're causing more rhetoric even today because the UN is trying to move forward with brand new sanctions, and already North Korea is saying that they're going to vow to the United States that if these sanctions get passed and put into place, that the United States will face pain and suffering.
Well, and of course, you would think that Kim Jong-un would want to make that statement on a day like today for Americans. Gold pulled back because of some of this activity. What's your take on that?
Well, most of the pullback actually happened while we were asleep in the Asian markets. Gold pulled back because they saw that no missile was being fired, and they saw the pictures of what was happening in our economic sectors because of the hurricanes. So the risk-off trade came off, or the risk-on trade came off, and so gold reprieved a little bit. It went down to a support level of 1331. So we're still, nothing's really changed in either markets. We're still in bull markets and stocks and gold. It's just, things are balancing out a little bit more right now.
All right. Year to date, I like to do this whenever you're on with us. If we had put $10,000 in the different options, where would we be today?
Well, stocks would be number 3 at 11.3%, up at $11,030. Silver would be in the middle at up 12.7%, or $11,270, and the winner would be gold at 15.7%,
wow.
$11,570. This is because the dollar index is down 13% this year
Sure.
so far.
I mean, they were up 17% last week, but they're still way outpacing silver and stocks. So interesting. Well, friends, if you have questions about your own personal portfolio, David's team at Landmark Capital is eager to help you assess where you're at and what your needs are and what they're going to be. And one of the ways that they can help you prepare for your long-term needs, be it retirement or college planning for your kids, etc., is to meet with you and to give you a personal portfolio blueprint to success, which you can inquire about when you call 844-604-2575. It's absolutely free. Your own personal blueprint, your financial blueprint, 844-604-2575. And then they've also got another resource that David loves to give out, and that is his newsletter. And the new one is just out. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And you can get that at landmarkgold.com or request a copy when you call 844-604-2575. You've also heard us talk about the coming bail-in. That's where the government seizes your invested assets for their own purposes in the event of certain disasters. That's in its 6th printing, and you can still get a copy of that at no cost as well when you call 844-604-2575 or landmarkgold.com, 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575. And, David, appreciate you being with us on this 9/11 16th anniversary. It's hard to believe it's been 16 years, and yet here our nation is picking up and moving on, and glad to see that occurring. We appreciate your efforts with us today.
Absolutely. We're keeping America great together.
All right. It's Kevin McCullough. My final thoughts coming up next.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer.
Let's take a look at the numbers across the Hudson River on this Monday evening. Outbound Holland Tunnel hasn't gotten any worse as we progress through the 5 o'clock hour, but it hasn't gotten any better either. We're still looking at a 30 to 40 minute delay, and that 40 will be from Canal Street, 30 from the other approaches. Citybound 15 minutes. Outbound side of the Lincoln Tunnel also hasn't gotten much worse. 25 to 30 minutes now from all approaches. 11th Avenue would be the best approach, and the citybound side about a 10 to 15 minute wait. George Washington Bridge, that looks like a pretty good ride. Trying to get to the George Washington Bridge, we are looking at a lot of brake lights on the east side of Manhattan, heading uptown on the FDR Drive from the 50s on up to the RFK Triborough Bridge. More delays on the Harlem River Drive 140s to the GW Bridge. Heading downtown, we're slow from the 90s into the 60s. Northbound West Side Highway, we're slow from the 90s up to the George Washington Bridge with an accident just north of 96th Street. And southbound a little slow coming down into Hell's Kitchen. Really not too bad here as you go across the RFK Triborough Bridge to Queens or into the Bronx or Manhattan. And now you know how not to go. I am Mike Barker on AM 970, The Answer.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. If you're planning an engagement party or wedding or corporate event, birthday or anniversary party, bar or bat mitzvah, why not consider having it on a luxury private yacht? Your guests will be very impressed, and the memories will last a lifetime. Let my friend Francesca find you the yacht that's best for your event. We use her around Salem Media, New York all the time, and she just knows how to put that perfect touch of class to every one of our special occasions. She has beautiful vessels in her fleet that can accommodate from 2 to over 1,000, and guests can board at lots of convenient locations throughout the metropolitan area. Private yacht not in your budget? How about a deck charter? Fran's yachts are fully insured and Coast Guard certified. So visit Fran's Touch of Class to see the range of yachts in her fleet and give her a call, find out about your options. Fran will fill you in on the yachts, describe the delicious cuisine, and give you the details of the services provided. Call her today and add that extra touch of class to your event. 212-385-9400. 212-385-9400. Or franstouchofclass.com.
In this tight labor market, finding new employees can be tough. Whether you're the business owner or an HR professional, you want access to highly qualified candidates fast. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, no matter the industry, with Indeed you get immediate access to a high-quality pool of talent with no long-term contracts or upfront fees. For a limited time, Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to make their first job listing a sponsored job with premium visibility so more candidates will see it. You want to make a great hire fast, and this exclusive offer gives you a head start. Independent research shows 6 times more hires are delivered through Indeed than any other job site, making Indeed your one-stop source for hiring. To redeem this offer, go to Indeed.com/offer. That's Indeed.com/offer. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Jay Sekulow live is next on AM 970. The Answer. What you need to know when you need it. It's Kevin McCullough Radio.
So much is on my heart 16 years after 9/11, and friends, I'm almost sure it probably is on yours as well. And that's why for today's final thoughts, I wanted these things to speak on my behalf 16 years after I produced them.
It is absolutely an appalling day, not only here in Manhattan, but also in Washington, where the Pentagon also was apparently the subject of a strike by one of these hijacked airliners flying bombs. Really, the Pentagon still very much on fire. The damage there perhaps not as severe as it is at the World Trade Center, but clearly America is under attack.
It's not easy trying to understand how the world can be so cold, stealing the souls of men. Cloudy skies rain down on all your dreams. You wrestle with the fear and doubt. Sometimes it's hard, but you gotta believe there's a better place where our Father waits, and every tear He'll wipe away. The darkness will be gone, the weak shall be strong. Hold on to your faith, there will come a day.
Our police department, our fire department, and our emergency people are being stretched to the limit.
There will come a day.
I'm sure we've also lost a significant number of them.
Wars are raging, lives are scattered, innocence is lost, and hopes are shattered. The old are forgotten, the children are forsaken. In this world we're living in, is there anything sacred? There's a better place where our Father waits, and every tear He'll wipe away. The darkness will be gone, the weak shall be strong. Hold on to your faith, there will come a day.
That the loss of life is going to be very great indeed.
There will come a day.
Many of the important institutions here in Chicago shut down as a result of the United States terrorist acts that have occurred.
The victims were in airplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors.
You prepare for the worst, but you don't believe that it'll happen? And this is the worst.
Across the way, the construction workers just hung their signs outside. God bless America, and prayed for families and victims.
And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me.
We will never, never forget. We'll see you next time.